How do I stop caring for a narcissist? Do you find yourself obsessing over what the narcissist in your life is thinking and doing? Are you still seeking their validation and approval, even after the hurt and trauma? It's time to regain your power by stopping caring altogether. I know it's easier said than done when your mind loops about their shifting opinions, subtle put-downs, and projection of their issues onto you. The confusion can make you cling to fantasies that the charming false self they first presented will reappear and soothe your wounds. This video will help you break free emotionally once and for all.
What happens when you stop caring about a narcissist?
When you stop caring about a narcissist, several things can happen. You regain your sense of self and personal power. By no longer seeking validation or reaction from the narcissist, you take back control over your emotions and life. The narcissist may initially increase their manipulation tactics. Since they feed on attention, they may ramp up their behavior to get a reaction from you. Staying indifferent robs them of their narcissistic supply. The dynamic of the relationship changes. Not caring forces the narcissist to relate to you differently. They can no longer push your buttons or provoke you. You become free of the emotional roller coaster. By remaining detached, you avoid getting caught up in the narcissist's drama and mood swings. Your emotions stabilize. The narcissist may disappear from your life. Once you cease to be a source of attention or validation, the narcissist may drop you and search for supply elsewhere. In essence, when you stop caring, you take back your power and render the narcissist powerless. This confronting reality causes them to change their approach or withdraw completely from the relationship.
Why do I still care about the narcissist?
There are several reasons why you may still care about the narcissist, even when you know you shouldn't. Trauma bonding. The intermittent abuse and affection creates an addictive attachment. Like an addiction, you crave the highs of the good times. Low self-esteem. If you lack self-worth, the narcissist's approval seems important, even when it's just crumbs of affection. Hope. You hold out hope the narcissist will change and the relationship will improve. This hope keeps you invested. Guilt. The narcissist may have convinced you that you owe them or are responsible for their emotions and actions. This sense of obligation keeps you hooked in. Fear. You may worry about what the narcissist will do if you withdraw care and attention. This fear leads to walking on eggshells and enabling their behavior. Loneliness. Having someone, even a narcissist, provides a sense of purpose. Detaching may initially leave you feeling empty. Habit. After caring for so long, breaking the habit can be challenging. Caring feels automatic, almost like an addiction. The reasons are complex, but with concerted effort, you can retrain yourself to detach and stop caring. It takes perseverance, but freedom awaits.
Why is it so hard to stop loving a narcissist?
There are several key reasons why it's incredibly hard to stop loving a narcissist once you're bonded to them. Intermittent reinforcement. The periodic doses of affection, interspersed with cruelty, creates a powerful addiction to the unpredictable relationship. Like gamblers, you cling to the hope of the next win. Trauma bonding. The ongoing cycle of abuse, devaluation, and scarce affection results in trauma bonding. This forms a strong emotional dependency on the narcissist. Cognitive dissonance. The gap between their words and actions creates intense inner confusion and denial. You suppress your intuition to avoid confronting the truth. Projection. The narcissist projects their shameful qualities onto you, leading to feelings of self-blame. This deepens attachment as you try fruitlessly to help them. Gaslighting. The narcissist's constant distortion of reality leaves you doubting yourself and clinging to them as the definitive source of truth. Sunk cost. You've invested so much time, emotion, and effort that detaching seems to negate all personal sacrifice. You cling to the wish it improves. Codependence. A tendency towards caretaking and pleasing makes asserting boundaries with the narcissist feel abandoning. It also feels intolerably selfish. In combination, these factors create a stubborn attachment not easily severed. With support, patience, and compassion for yourself, healing is absolutely possible.
What words can destroy a narcissist?
There are certain words and phrases that can deeply wound a narcissist's fragile ego and provoke intense reactions. These include, "You're wrong." Narcissists can't handle being contradicted or corrected. Proving them fallible is highly threatening. "You're unimportant." Any suggestion they are ordinary or insignificant is devastating to their grandiose sense of self. "I don't need you." Their sense of identity depends on others needing them, so a lack of dependency is enraging. "You're selfish, greedy, cruel." Though narcissists may parade these traits, having them pointed out is infuriating. "You're not special." To imply they are common or flawed is the ultimate insult to a narcissist's exaggerated self-image. No, simply refusing to comply with a narcissist's wishes can send them into a fury at not getting their way. You're old, ugly. Narcissists have a phobia of aging since youth and beauty reinforce their fantasy of perfection. Essentially, any candid feedback that confronts their false self-image will injure a narcissist. The truth about who they really are is devastating. They lash out or retreat from anyone holding up a truthful mirror.
How do I permanently leave a narcissist?
Cutting ties permanently with a narcissist requires planning and commitment, but is very possible. Here are some key steps. Line up your support system. Turn to family, friends, coaches, therapists, anyone who can help validate your reality as you detach. Disentangle finances and property to remove avenues of control. Open your own bank accounts and secure your assets. Obtain legal advice to understand your options regarding custody, divorce, restraining orders, etc. Find alternate living arrangements so you have an exit plan. Even staying with others temporarily can provide distance. Block the narcissist on all fronts: phone, email, social media, etc. This prevents hoovering attempts or abuse. Use legal recourse if needed. Seek therapy to unravel trauma bonds. Professional support helps decondition attachment and provides crucial validation. Allow yourself to fully grieve the fantasy bond once detached. Feeling the loss opens the space for new, healthy relationship. Refrain from spying on the narcissist online or through mutual contacts. Resist the urge to gather ammunition or hoover yourself. Permanent escape requires physical, emotional, legal, and financial detachment. With determination and no contact, you can liberate yourself from the narcissist's grasp.
How do you detach from a narcissist?
Here are some effective strategies for detaching from a narcissist. Stop disclosing or confiding in the narcissist. Share nothing about your thoughts, feelings, or life. Abstain from all non-essential contact or communication. Keep interactions brief and solution-focused. Adopt an attitude of polite disinterest. Display neither anger nor affection towards the narcissist. Visualize an unbreakable glass wall around you whenever in the narcissist's presence. Detach emotionally. Avoid getting drawn into defending yourself. Disengage from accusations or attempts to provoke you. Refrain from trying to reason with or point out lies. Narcissists are immune to truth or facts. Keep discussions focused only on essential logistics like childcare or divorce. Do not get personal. Practice mindful breathing when triggered and refrain from reacting. Starve them of supply. Never confide in the narcissist or provide personal information or feelings. They will exploit vulnerabilities. Cultivate interests, activities, and relationships separate from the narcissist to minimize dependence. With practice, their provocations will roll off your back. Your composure and indifference will reflect their lack of control.
What turns a narcissist off?
Narcissists have fragile egos that require constant validation. Here is what turns them off. Indifference. If you withdraw attention and care nothing for their antics, narcissists lose interest. Truth. Accurate, candid feedback about their false self or bad behavior enrages them. Criticism, even constructive criticism, makes them feel flawed and fraudulent. This is intolerable. Lack of admiration. Their need for worship means anything less than adoration from you is unacceptable. Independence. Relying on yourself rather than the narcissist makes you impervious to manipulation. Your success, accomplishments that outshine their own, evoke intense jealousy in the narcissist. Exposure. Revealing the narcissist's lies, abuse, or fakery to others brings their false self crashing down. Boredom. If you seem aloof or unimpressed, narcissists will seek more appreciative sources of supply. Losing arguments. Being proven wrong or losing verbal sparring threatens their supposed superiority. Vulnerability. Displays of humanity conflict with the narcissist's pathological need to appear perfect. Essentially, anything that pierces the narcissist's grandiose facade will repel them. By exposing their insecurities, you render yourself indifferent and unimportant to them.
The biggest reason why you should stop caring for the narcissist.
By far, the biggest reason to stop caring for a narcissist is to reclaim your personal freedom and power. Narcissists employ cunning psychological techniques to keep you trapped in an endless cycle of seeking validation, reacting to cruelty, or complying with unreasonable demands. This leaves you diminished, drained, and perpetually walking on eggshells to avoid their wrath or withdrawal of love. Caring what the narcissist thinks, controlling your behavior to please them, or hoping they will change gives all your power away. way and leaves you dependent on their servitude. It puts your life in the hands of an emotional tyrant. The narcissist's approval, attention, or even existence in your life should not determine your self-worth, confidence, or direction. By ceasing to care, you take back your autonomy and start validating yourself. Detaching emotionally allows you to recognize that the narcissist's view of you is severely distorted. Their wildly shifting attitudes reflect their own disorder, not your worth. Your value remains intact. What matters is living by your truth and values, not becoming the narcissist's human appliance. Reoccupying your throne as sovereign of your reality is the grand reward awaiting when you resign as the narcissist's emotional servant. Your freedom is always worth claiming.
5 ways to stop caring. What the narcissist thinks right now.
Ready to take back your power? Here are 5 immediate ways to stop playing into a narcissist's hands. 1. Remember their opinion of you is distorted. Their inner turmoil clouds their perception. 2. Validate yourself. You know your own worth, regardless of their judgments. 3. Refuse to defend yourself from criticisms or accusations. Narcissists don't play fair. 4. Let go of trying to convince them of anything. They only accept their own conclusions. 5. See every attack as an attempt to provoke supply. Deprive them of emotional reactions. The more you disengage, the more the narcissist will escalate manipulations to force a response. But remaining disciplined robs them of power. Just acknowledge their disorder, know your worth, speak your truth, then let the chips fall where they may. The narcissist's reality is merely an illusion you need no longer buy into. You've got this.
Narcissist after going no contact.
Once you've taken the difficult but liberating step of going no contact, how do you sustain it and cease caring what they're up to? Here are some tips. Delete all reminders to erase their presence from your space. Out of sight, out of mind. Process the grief. Feel it fully, but don't let it drag you back. Grief frees you. Recognize intermittent reinforcement withdrawal. Like detox, this intensifies craving, but passes. Fill your schedule with activities and people unrelated to the narcissist. Don't leave space. Notice anxiety about them diminishing. Let it keep falling away until indifference sets in. Stop ruminating by distracting yourself whenever you notice obsessive thoughts creeping in. Avoid letting your mind drift to the past. Stay anchored in the empowered present. Know your worth, never depended on their inconstant perception of you. You own your value. With determination, you can retrain your brain to live wholly in the now, with nary a glance in the narcissist's direction. Recognizing your wholeness is the final, irreversible severing.
The truth about when you stop caring, they'll start chasing.
The notion that narcissists begin chasing you when you stop giving them attention is false, or at best, an oversimplification. Here's the truth. Narcissists don't actually miss or value you as a person when you withdraw care and attention. They simply miss the emotional reactions and validation you provided. You were useful supply, not a loved one. When you cease giving narcissists what they want, their first response is usually outrage or retribution. They feel insulted and want to punish you for daring to withdraw your gaze. Some narcissists will initially pursue you aggressively to reestablish control when you pull away. It's not because they long for you, but because they cannot bear losing power over a source of supply. Once narcissists recognize you will not resume your obedient, appeasing role as before, they frequently discard you out of disgust and immediately seek new sources of supply. You are rendered worthless to them since you cannot be manipulated anymore. On the rare occasion a narcissist tries to regain your affection, it's not driven by authentic love or remorse. They simply want the return of power over you and access to your supply. When that's the motive, their intent is still malignant. While ceasing to care can provoke a narcissist's rage or hoovering attempts, it does not make them genuinely value or miss you. They just cannot tolerate losing their power over someone who once provided supply. Staying indifferent retains your freedom.
How to stop thinking about the narcissist.
It's challenging to stop intrusive thoughts about the narcissist's questionable behavior or the relationship that once was. Here is how to stop ruminating. Notice when you're dwelling on the narcissist. Catch yourself before falling down the rabbit hole. Identify the emotions underlying the thoughts. Name them. Accept them as understandable. Ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? Breathe into tense areas to calm the nervous system. Get active and redirect your focus. Engage in sports, hobbies, chores, anything non-sedentary. Call a friend to talk out your feelings. Don't gossip about the narcissist, just process the emotions. Write down racing thoughts in a journal. Dump them out so they're not just looping in your head. Notice any resistance to letting go. Reflect on how focusing negatively impacts you, not them. Consider the benefits of living in the now. Dwelling on the past robs you of presence. The more you gently bring yourself back to the present, the more the narcissist recedes into the past where they belong.
How to stop caring what people think.
Caring excessively about others' opinions often stems from lack of self-worth. Here are tips to stop giving others' views so much weight. Identify your inner critic and how to silence its constant judgments. Its shaming voice isn't absolute truth. Assess whether people's opinions of you are based in reality or projections. Others' perceptions reveal more about them. Consider the motives behind why people judge you critically. Their opinions likely stem from own insecurities. Reflect on what you value rather than what others approve of. Live by your standards, not external validation. Know that for some, envy fuels criticism. Shine confidently. Don't let jealous people dull your light. Be selectively vulnerable. Open up only to supportive, empathetic people. Remember, everyone thinks differently. You can't please all people all the time. The more you know your worth comes from within, the less susceptible you'll be to people's careless judgments. You got this.
How you feel after years of narcissistic abuse.
Years of narcissistic abuse result in complex emotional and psychological effects, including pervasive sense of unworthiness and self-blame, feeling chronically not good enough, habit of intense people-pleasing, and perfectionism to avoid criticism, constant anxiety and hypervigilance, being always on guard for the next attack, difficulty trusting any expressed affection or kind words, fearing ulterior motives, assuming criticisms or mistakes mean you are fundamentally flawed and unlovable, attachment issues such as fear of vulnerability and dependence on any positive attention, lack of identity outside of the narcissist's projections or the trauma response roles you adopted to survive, emotional flashbacks triggered by even subtle experiences of invalidation or manipulation, feeling fraudulent, helplessly faking normalcy and happiness in life post-abuse, persistent physical symptoms, insomnia, migraines, digestive issues, hypertension, body pain, etc. You also feel the impact of complex PTSD, all-pervasive inner disorientation and despair. With compassion for yourself and professional support, deep healing is absolutely attainable. There is light ahead.
Why the narcissist starts caring when you stop.
When you go no contact, why would a narcissist start expressing interest again? Consider, they've lost control over you as a source of supply, which is enraging. Their hoovering is aimed at regaining the upper hand. With other supply sources, their tactics usually work. You leaving contradicts their belief in having people under their spell. The narcissist worries you could damage their false image by exposing their abuse. They want to silence and isolate you. They are incapable of love in any genuine sense, but become obsessed with possessions that don't comply. After an initial rage at rejection, the narcissist suffers ego injury. They cannot let you, an extension of them, go. Though incapable of change, they dangle empty promises of reform during hoovering attempts to lure you back under their power. Seeing you thrive independently is intolerable. Sabotaging your progress lets them feel they still control you. So-called caring is actually obsession with reestablishing dominance. Staying detached, vigilant, and unconditionally self-loving retains your freedom.
Don't care what a narcissist thinks of you.
Why let the pathological projections of an emotionally disordered person define your worth? Consider, their judgments say nothing about you and everything about their distorted perspective. What narcissists see in others mirrors their own shame. Narcissists despise traits in you that they envy: compassion, creativity, confidence, integrity, not flaws. Their hatred is jealousy. They insult you for refusing to comply with their controlling agendas, not fallibility. Setting boundaries provokes their outrage, not sin. They dismiss strengths and talents that outshine their own. Your competence elicits their insecurity, not their superiority. They shame you for genuinely caring since they are incapable of intimacy outside of feigned mind games. Real care exposes their fraudulence. What narcissists reject and condemn reflects what they cannot allow themselves to accept internally. Their judgments are self-loathing. The more clearly you understand narcissism's emptiness, the less their words can fragment your wholeness. You know the truth. Let their house of mirrors shatter.
How to stop emotional triggers due to narcissistic abuse.
Old wounds from narcissistic abuse can haunt you. Here's how to stop getting emotionally triggered. Notice triggers rapidly by tuning into bodily sensations and emotions. Name them rather than repress them. Validate yourself in the moment. I am worthwhile and safe right now, even if I don't feel it. Breathe slowly and deeply to soothe your nervous system. Regulate before reacting. Recognize triggers as echoes of the past. Express them, but don't believe the narcissist's old projections. Release emotions through movement, singing, yelling, humor, or creativity. Get them out constructively. Call supportive friends and verbalize your feelings instead of acting on them impulsively. Use grounding techniques. Hot, cold water. Holding weighted objects. Sense, describing surroundings. Come back to the present. Develop a response plan for when triggers arise. Having go-to coping tools builds resilience over time. Consider triggers an opportunity to show yourself compassion. Let them deepen your empathy for others' suffering. Triggers reduce in intensity and frequency as your window of emotional tolerance expands. You learn you can withstand them without collapsing.
When you stop caring, the narcissist does this.
When a narcissist can no longer provoke reactions from you, their behavior becomes predictable. Here's what happens. At first, they explode in rage at your sudden indifference and defiance of their wishes. They frantically love bomb you with praise or gifts, hoping to reassert control through manipulated positive emotions. When love bombing fails to rein you in, they abruptly devalue and discard you. They insult you and question your sanity for daring to challenge their sense of power. As a last resort, they shower you with wild apologies and promises of change. This feigned remorse draws many back in. Don't buy it. If all tactics fail, the narcissist suffers a narcissistic injury. They feel devastated and enraged at losing their illusion of control over you. They swiftly erase you from their life like you never existed. The ultimate narcissistic punishment. Some narcissists sadistically prolong contact to keep tormenting you. They want you broken and suffering to soothe their damaged ego. Essentially, narcissists do anything to resist acknowledging your sovereignty and free will. Even without you, they cannot reflect inward. They just move on seeking new supply sources to bolster their fragile self-conceptions.
How to stop thinking about the narcissist.
It's challenging to stop intrusive thoughts about the narcissist's questionable behavior, or the relationship that once was. Here's how to stop ruminating. Notice when you're dwelling on the narcissist. Catch yourself before falling down the rabbit hole. Identify the emotions underlying the thoughts. Name them. Accept them as understandable. Ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? Breathe into tense areas to calm the nervous system. Get active and redirect your focus. Engage in sports, hobbies, chores, anything non-sedentary. Call a friend to talk out your feelings. Don't gossip about the narcissist, just process the emotions. Write down racing thoughts in a journal. Dump them out so they're not just looping in your head. Notice any resistance to letting go. Reflect on how focusing negatively impacts you, not them. Consider the benefits of living in the now. Dwelling on the past robs you of presence. The more you gently bring yourself back to the present, the more the narcissist recedes into the past where they belong.
How to stop loving a narcissist so that you can move on from a toxic relationship.
It's challenging but essential to stop loving a narcissist to heal the wounds and move forward. Here are some suggestions. Go no contact so their further manipulations can't confuse you or draw you back in. Block them everywhere. Pour love into yourself through self-care and surrounding yourself with true supporters. Don't look externally to fill inner emptiness. Let yourself grieve the fantasy you fell in love with. Feel the loss fully. The narcissist exploited this dream. Understand it wasn't love, but trauma bonding. The intensity stems from the abuse cycle, not actual intimacy or caring. Recognize their false self. The charismatic person you love only exists to lure and supply. It's not who they really are. Expect withdrawal pains from losing your addiction. Stay strong and keep focusing on your worth despite their devaluation. Explore codependency. See how you may have bonded to the narcissist's wounds, insecurities with your own. Work on self-worth. Be patient and compassionate to yourself. Healing trauma takes time and support. Celebrate all progress. Loving deeply again will follow rediscovering your wholeness. For now, cherish your own heart, just as it is.
All narcissists end up losing.
Why do narcissists ultimately lose in life, despite seeming powerful in the moment? Consider, they lose meaningful human connection. Narcissists are condemned to chronic inner isolation by exploiting people as objects, not relating authentically. They lose trust. Their deceit, betrayal, and lack of empathy breeds mistrust, even from those who enable them. They lose respect. The false image they project fools outsiders temporarily, but their true selfishness eventually shows through. They lose loyalty. Nobody with integrity will remain loyal to someone with no conscience or capacity to care. The narcissist ends up alone when their masks slip. They lose emotional fulfillment. Their endless pursuit of validation never resolves their inner emptiness. They remain perpetually dissatisfied and joyless. They lose self-control. Lacking inner stability, narcissists can't regulate their emotions and behaviors constructively. Their volatility undermines them. They lose self-awareness. Despite a sense of intellectual superiority, narcissists lack insight into their disorder and why relationships fail. Their egos blind them. Narcissists' attempts to conceal their dysfunction only delay the consequences, but their antisocial ways ultimately render them isolated prisoners trapped inside a false self.
How to stop caring about what the narcissist says.
The top tip for no longer caring about a narcissist's words is this. See their verbal attacks as exactly that. Attacks deliberately aimed to provoke and control you. Here's why their words mean nothing. They criticize in areas where you're strong, not flawed. Your gifts elicit their jealousy. They falsely accuse you of their own abusive behaviors and negative traits. It's projection. They distort the truth and rewrite history. These deliberate lies serve to control you, not reveal any objective reality. Their shifting opinions about you reflect their agenda in any given moment, not your value. They provoke reactions to generate narcissistic supply. Depriving them of this cuts off their power. Their criticisms stem from their disordered thinking and inner torment. You're just a proxy for attacking themselves. The more you recognize their words reveal only their state of mind, not reflect on you at all, the less their judgments can impact your self-worth. You take back your power as validator of your own experience.
The narcissist knows you stop caring.
How can you tell the narcissist recognizes you've stopped caring and moved on? Watch for these revealing behaviors. Sudden sweetness after cruelty. They vainly attempt to hoover you back in with feigned kindness. Ramping up status updates and posts that convey popularity, success, and happiness. They want to provoke envy and show you've been replaced. Statements about how peaceful and free they feel now that you're gone. This underscores how little you supposedly meant. Bragging about all their new friends, partners, and exciting activities. Painting a picture of a fabulous life fulfilled without you. Accusations that you're obsessed with them now. They try to provoke you since you're no longer providing narcissistic supply. Outrage that you could possibly be indifferent and thriving after the relationship. They cannot believe they aren't controlling you still. Spreading rumors that you're unhinged or lost without them. This is aimed to reassert their power publicly. Narcissists hate feeling discarded. When they sense you let go, they go on the attack or create illusions that you're the one left pining for them. It's all smoke and mirrors due to their bruised egos. Smile knowing you're free.
When the narcissist is upset with you.
When the narcissist is upset with you for not conforming to their wishes, here's how to resist caring. Recognize it's their attempt to manipulate you back into compliance. Dropping the role of emotional servant provokes their upset. Expect their go-to tactics. Guilt trips, using fear/obligation/duty to control you. Criticizing your non-compliance as disloyalty or cruelty. Validate yourself in the face of accusations. Know these charges reflect the narcissist's distortions, not the truth. Remind yourself the narcissist feels entitled to your servitude. Their anger stems from a grandiose yet fragile ego. Let the narcissist's reactions roll off your back. Refuse to be guilt-tripped or intimidated. You owe them no apologies or explanations for having boundaries. Reassure yourself this will pass and their tantrums lose power over time. Each provocation you don't react to builds your resilience further. When you know their upset stems from pathological entitlement rather than anything you've done, it loses any meaningful impact. Your calmness in the eye of their storms helps erode their disorder over time. Caring about someone incapable of reciprocity leads nowhere good. To stop caring, accept they lack full emotional depth and humanity. Their disordered psyche limits conscience and empathy. Recognize you deserve basic decency. Tolerating mistreatment erodes self-worth. Don't betray yourself. Let go of resentment. Expect nothing from them but irrationality moving forward. Fill emotional voids yourself. Make your needs and values the priority now, not their endless demands. Follow your own compass. Allow their criticisms and projections to reflect their disturbed psychology, not your worthiness. Objectively assess your strengths. Place your care into healthier outlets, nurturing relationships, enriching activities, self-development. Where energy flows, it grows. Set and enforce strict boundaries around how you allow yourself to be treated. You train others how to treat you. The more compassion and approval you grant yourself, the less you seek it one-sidedly from a disordered, unsafe person. Your care is meant for those capable of reciprocity. You cannot fill the narcissist's endless inner void. Release this unrewarding attachment so your true life may unfold. You deserve nothing less. If you're still stuck in limbo, caring deeply one minute and wanting to detach the next, be compassionate with yourself. The cognitive dissonance after narcissistic abuse is intensely complex, but please know that peace and closure will only arrive when you fully let go inside, even if the narcissist is still present in your outer life. Keep watching these videos, reading, journaling, and surrounding yourself with support. Each small step of progress compounds. You've got this, and the freedom you deserve awaits. For more tips on implementing no contact, dealing with hoovering attempts, and establishing boundaries, please subscribe and stay tuned. Together, we can help each other heal and move forward into healthier and happier lives.